Hi, folks. Welcome to Rewatch, where I talk about each little individual episode of TV and movies right here. And today we're going to talk about episode 2, season 1 of the Dave Filoni's Clone Wars called Rising Malevolence. Malevolence? Is that it? Yeah. They did this into like a children's book, I remember. And it fooled me a lot. A lot of the first season of Clone Wars, they did little, children's books. And I was getting confused all the time. And when I'd look through them at the bookstore, I go, wait a minute. This is based off the episodes. Got it. And I could move on. And I remember this was one of them too. And I almost bought this book too. I was like, oh, this is cool. And then I thought, wait a minute, this is in the first season. So here we go. This is actually a really good episode. Plo Koon, he finds General Grievous's new super weapon that basically just takes out ships. He and a bunch of clones escape pods. And meanwhile, Grievous has ordered a group of droids to go out there in space and destroy each escape pod one at a time. And it's gruesome too, as Plo Koon and his clones hear clone troopers screaming as they're breaking the atmosphere of the escape pod and just shooting them all out into space where they're dying. And another one where they see another escape pod coming to them, and Plo Koon uses the force to turn the window around, and there's a dead trooper just floating there, because they've ruptured that escape pod too. And they're just going through space, killing them. And it's only a matter of time before Plo Koon and those clone troopers get found out. And it is intense. And you feel the drama. You feel the weight of this. And that I enjoyed. Now, meanwhile, of course, Ahsoka wants to go save Plo Koon because she's old friends with Plo Koon. Anakin, they're in front of the council. And Ahsoka says, I want to go on a rescue mission. They're absolutely not. And Anakin snaps at her, absolutely not. I'm sorry, my Padawan spoke out of turn. And then what do? Anakin takes her on the rescue mission. Sure. But Sky Guy, well, what's going on? You were going to rescue him the whole time. He's like, you got to learn how to do things, Snips. Don't tell the council, just do it. Or whatever. I don't care. Anyway, of course, they're going to save him in time. But this is where it gets kind of sketch for me. Because like I said, there are some good things in the episode. But Plo Koon goes into outer space. Okay, I remember watching that and going, oh, okay. Well, Givens can do that, but he can too. So now there's two species that can do that. All right, it makes Givens less special in my opinion, but okay, fine. He can exist in the vacuum of space, maybe his mask or whatever. And on the DVD extra, I remember because I watched the behind the scenes stuff back in the day. When I got all the DVDs, I watched the extras. Filoni is so arrogant because he brags about how George said, no, that can't happen. But he told George off, and he got his way. And Filoni is smarter than George Lucas. And so I argue with George that, yes, it could happen, and it is, and George let me keep it. Like he got a win over George Lucas. Like he's so great. That's you. If you really want to know how arrogant Filoni is, watch those behind the scenes as he brags about himself and how he, changes Lucas's mind and how he kind of tells Lucas how Star Wars should be. I mean, I've never seen anyone pat themselves on the back an entire DVD interview, but Dave Filoni does that and just makes him less likable to people like me. The other weird thing is when they go out in outer space, he tells the clone troopers to put on their helmets and join him. So they all go out of space because the droids find them and they rip open the escape pod. But don't worry, the clone troopers are in their Clone War gear. That doesn't protect you in space. There's a gap underneath the helmet. How does that help you in space? I don't know. Even at the end of the episode, they knew they're going to get some flack. So the 21B medical droid says, their suits only protect them partially. They still need some recovery. They'll have some recovery time, but they're going to be okay. Okay, if that was the case, and every clone trooper knew that, then why we see them getting jettisoned out in space and dying? Why not just put your helmet on and blast them? Blast them, kill them, take them with you. Yeah, later on, if you in the vacuum of space, you'll eventually die. I don't know how long, because the clones with Plo Koon were out for a while, but you just contradicted yourself in the same episode. Why are these clone troopers different than all the other clone troopers? Why the other clone troopers have to die? Because they were that stupid? Because they didn't have a Jedi there to remind them? I mean, it's so sad, because the idea of them being trapped in this area and not being able to escape, that's scary. That was good. The first half of this was like, yeah. But then I'd forgotten that the clone troopers got out too. Well, then why didn't the other clone troopers do that? It's terrible writing. It is lazy writing. It is awful, awful, awful writing. So, I mean, for me, it's sad because, like, again, here we go. A good idea, a starting of a good episode, but then it makes no sense at the end. Anyway, that's my thoughts on it. Let me know what you thought about episode 2, season 1 of Dave Filoni's Clone Wars in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.